A single shot rang out as Sergeant Cole's eyes narrowed. She was the only one who saw the missile arcing toward the compound. Backstory thread. Sergeant Maya Cole wiped a streak of dust from the reinforced glass as she surveyed the training courtyard. She moved with practiced efficiency, her fingers dancing over the calibration knobs on the ballistic sensor, her posture taut like a coiled spring. The other operatives, hulking ex-Marines and grizzled combat medics, eyed her slender frame with thinly veiled curiosity. They knew little of her 12 years in the shadows. No one suspected the former Navy SEAL sniper who'd once been whispered about in secret briefings. Maya inhaled the sharp morning air of the Pacific Disaster Response Hub, a converted industrial compound on the outskirts of Anchorage. The metal walls echoed with the clang of gear being prepared for drills. She noted the uneven grout between the floor tiles. Her father would have called it a precision flaw in the architecture. He had spent decades as a master sniper instructor, teaching her to see the faintest disruption in a landscape. Her mother, an elite combat medic, had trained her hands to be both gentle and decisive. Now those legacies whispered in her fingertips. Inciting. Incident. A shrill alarm shattered the calm. The red lights in the command center flashed as the tactical feed lit up. An automated sensor had detected an unauthorized flight path. A rogue cargo drone, loaded beyond manifest, speeding toward the facility. Lieutenant Harris barked orders, but his voice faltered when the drone's feed revealed a deadly payload. He turned to Maya, skepticism clear in his eyes. "Cole, you're the tech specialist. Can you hack the drone's guidance?" With a curt nod, Maya slipped into the adjacent control room. She sat before a bank of monitors, her gloved hands flying over the keyboard. The console's interface blurred across her vision, but she saw patterns in the code no one else could. Lines of malicious script scrolled past until she fished out the root command. Eyes locked on the cascade of crimson text. Crisis and reveal. Lieutenant Harris jammed the door handle, searching for her. Maya's fingers danced. Override, reroute, seize control. Her voice was calm when she spoke of missile trajectories and countermeasures, as if reading bedtime stories. 3, 2, 1. I'm in. The drone jerked off course, its deadly cargo spilling harmlessly into the frozen Bay Lake. The blast rocked the water, spraying ice shards into the air. The team burst in, jaws dropped. Harris stammered, "How? I thought you were just the maintenance girl." Maya peeled off her glove, revealing a faint scar on her wrist, the souvenir of a long-ago operation on hostile terrain. "Maintenance?" she murmured. "I'm full combat capable. Resolution and reflection, the compounds." Operatives surrounded her, eyes wide. Maya holstered her sidearm, a compact precision pistol she'd customized years ago. She swept the room, sensing the shift in the air. Respect, shock, fear. She forced a small smile and returned to the sensor console. Alone for a moment, Maya tapped a quick message into her encrypted COM. *mission status. Successful. They know nothing. She closed her eyes against the harsh fluorescence. 12 years she'd hidden behind cover assignments, passing as a techie, a medic's assistant, a cleaning specialist. 12 years without a single ripple on the surface. Of her past, she straightened, recalling her mother's voice. Compassion only matters if you survive long enough to give it. And her father's mantra. Precision is truth. Maya exhaled slowly. Was it worth the secret? The question hovered as she pushed open the hatch back into the blinking lights of the command center. Audience prompts. Drop a if you've ever been underestimated. Comment. If you think a Navy SEAL could pass as a tech specialist. Share. If you'd want her on your team in a crisis. End of part 1. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're from. If this story moves you, please subscribe. Tomorrow, I have a special story for you. Maya's phone vibrated, once in her pocket, unknown number. She knew before she answered that her world was about to fracture. Backstory thread. The compound was quieter the next morning, but the hush was brittle. Word had spread, Sergeant. Maya Cole wasn't just another maintenance tech. She'd rerouted a rogue drone in minutes, saving lives. The men who once smirked when she carried ammo crates now lowered their voices when she passed. She didn't need their awe. She needed them. Oblivious, Maya moved through the motor pool, checking the convoy vehicles for any signs of tampering. Years ago, her mother taught her how to listen for betrayal in the smallest things. An unusual oil smear, a bolt turned a fraction too tight. Her father taught her patience. The best snipers weren't the ones with the steadiest aim, but the ones who waited for the perfect shot. She felt their legacies in her bones as she checked the convoy's diagnostics. A few new recruits loitered nearby, tossing each other smug looks. One finally spoke up, Corporal Jensen, broad-shouldered, more swagger than sense. "Cole, you hiding any more surprises? Maybe you're secretly special forces or something." She didn't even glance up. "Check the coolant line before you crack jokes, Corporal, or you'll blow a gasket halfway to Anchorage." He flushed, muttered a curse, and bent over the engine. Maya's lips twitched a ghost of a grin. But her phone's buzz reminded her. Secrets never stayed buried forever. Inciting incident. She stepped into the corner of the hangar and answered the call. No greeting, just static, and a voice she hadn't heard in 12 years. "Sparrow?" Her knees almost gave. That call sign hadn't touched air since her last covert op. "Who is this?" "Eagle Nest is compromised. We need the package moved now." The line crackled. "We've already sent a location ping to your secure tablet. It's you or nobody, Maya." Before she could reply, the line went dead. She stared at her reflection in the grimy window, no longer the ghost she'd trained herself to be. The past had just called her home. Crisis and reveal. She punched in her tablet code fingers, trembling only slightly. Coordinates blinked up. A remote storage facility on the edge of Denali's icy wilderness. The package could mean anything, intel. An asset, a human life. Her pulse hammered. Maya returned to the command center. Lieutenant Harris turned, eyes already suspicious. "You look pale, Cole. Something I should know?" She leveled her gaze at him. "I'm taking the all-terrain recon truck, solo run." "Under what authority?" He scoffed. She held up her clearance badge. Its seal flickering holographically in the harsh overhead lights. He swallowed hard. "I didn't know you had that level of—" "You don't need to know," she said flatly. "Keep your men inside the perimeter. If I'm not back by dawn, lock down the compound." Outside, she loaded her duffel with more than just tools. A custom M4, thermal optics, her old Seal Dog tags. She ran her gloved thumb over the engraved trident, her father's trident. She'd buried it deep in a safe, telling herself she'd never wear it again. Now, she slipped the chain over her head, resolution and reflection. The truck's engine rumbled like distant thunder as she punched through the compound gate. Snow swirled in ghostly spirals around her headlights. Alone, Maya let her mind replay the old voices, her mother's stern reprimands for hesitation, her father's soft encouragement to breathe through the shot. This mission would break her cover for good. She'd spent 12 years building a quiet life among men who thought she was just background noise. She'd chosen compassion over violence, routine over adrenaline. But now the phone call echoed inside her like a detonator. She would do what she always did: get the package out alive, make it home, and pray the truth wouldn't destroy what she'd rebuilt. In the dark, her eyes narrowed against the swirling snow. She whispered the words that always steadied her aim. "Precision is truth." Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd answer a call like that. Comment if you believe some secrets should stay buried. Share if you think Maya is ready for what's next. A black SUV skidded across the ice. Headlights locked on Maya's truck as she slammed the accelerator. No more shadows to hide in. Backstory thread. The rescued girl, Sophia. She'd whispered her name when they hit the road, huddled in the passenger seat, wrapped in a thermal blanket. Her eyes darted between Maya's steady hands and the side mirror, where headlights danced like wolves. Sophia's wrists were raw where the duct tape had bitten. Maya passed her a water bottle without taking her eyes off the road. Who are they? Sophia's voice cracked. They said I was leverage. For you. Something about Project Ember. I don't know my dad. He used to work for the Defense Logistics Division. He died years ago. Maya's jaw tightened. The term sparked memories she'd buried under layers of normal life. Her last Black Ops mission in Yemen. The classified Cody name that had gotten half her team killed. She'd left the SEALs to make sure no one could ever use that file to drag her back into the darkness. And yet here it was, whispered in the mouth of a scared girl. Inciting incident. The SUV behind them accelerated, closing fast. Maya braked hard, swung onto an unmarked service road that veered through thick pine forest. Snow exploded under the tires as the truck fishtailed. Sophia yelped, bracing herself against the dashboard. Maya knew these woods. She'd trained here. Under her father's watchful eye before she'd ever worn a uniform. Every ridge, every frozen creek bed, she'd memorized like the lines on her palm. The SUV followed, bouncing over tree roots and icy ruts. A burst of automatic gunfire shredded the taillights. Maya ducked low, eyes flicking to the rear view. Two silhouettes leaning out the windows, rifles trained on her tires. She yanked the wheel, swerved behind a stand of ancient pines, and killed the headlights. The truck crawled forward in darkness, the engine rumbling low. "What are you doing?" Sophia whispered. "Hunting the hunters," Maya murmured. "Crisis and reveal." She left Sophia hunkered behind the wheel, shivering but determined not to make a sound. Maya slipped into the trees, the snow swallowing her footsteps. Her father had once told her that the best snipers didn't fire from a mile away. They closed the gap so the shot would always find its mark. The SUV crept into the clearing, tires crunching snow. The men stepped out, scanning the trees with night vision goggles. Maya lay prone behind a fallen log, rifle steadied on her forearm, breath clouding in the cold. She counted 2, then saw a third shape near the driver's door, this one more careful, scanning the treetops. Smart, too smart for standard mercs. Precision is truth. She squeezed the trigger. One shot clean through the leg, dropping the lookout like a sack of rocks. The other 2 spun wildly, firing blind into the dark. Maya shifted her position, fired again, another leg shot. She needed answers more than bodies. She circled low and fast, closing the distance before the third man could run. He spun to aim, but she was already on him, slamming her boot into the inside of his knee. He crumpled, breath fogging the air as she jammed her pistol under his chin. "Who sent you?" He coughed blood, spitting it into the snow. "You're dead either way, Sparrow. The director wants you back or in the ground. Doesn't matter which, director." The same code name from the Yemen mission. Her pulse thundered. "What about the girl?" He just laughed, a wet, rattling sound. "Collateral." Maya knocked him out cold, zip-tied him to a tree, and sprinted back to the truck. Sophia's eyes widened when she reappeared, speckled with snow. Rifle still warm. "We're not safe here," Maya said, starting the engine. "We need to disappear before they send more." Sophia's voice trembled. "Disappear where?" Maya's mind raced. There was only one place left, her father's old sniper retreat, deep in the mountains. A place with no digital footprints, no eyes, no director, but bringing Sophia there meant dragging her entire hidden life into the light. Resolution and reflection. They barreled down the service road, the forest swallowing the glow of the SUV's hazard lights behind them. Sophia dozed fitfully, head on the window, mumbling names and half-formed memories. Maya's knuckles whitened on the wheel. Her mother's voice echoed from the past. Sometimes the only way out is through. She wondered what she'd find at the retreat. Old supplies, dead memories, a chance to strike first. Maya knew one thing. Hiding was no longer an option. Project Ember had found her once. They'd find her again. Unless she ended them first. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd have taken the shot too. Comment if you believe there's more to Sophia's story. Share if you're ready to see where Maya runs to next. The moment Maya stepped into her father's abandoned sniper cabin, she knew someone had been here first. Backstory thread. The cabin lay deep in the Chugach Mountains, hidden behind ridgelines and dense pine that swallowed sound. Maya's truck rattled up the old logging path, its tires crunching over frozen brush. Sophia stirred awake beside her, eyes wide at the sight of the tiny log structure. A ghost from another world. Maya killed the engine and listened. No birds, no wind. Just the deep, ancient hush of the forest pressing against the walls. Her father built this place with his own hands when she was 12. He'd bring her here for weeks at a time, teaching her how to move like wind over snow, how to read tracks invisible to anyone else. It was a place for clarity, for precision. Now it felt like a trap. She motioned Sophia to stay low as she circled the cabin's perimeter. Faint boot prints led from the woods to the porch, then disappeared inside. Maya's gut clenched. These were deliberate steps, no sign of drag, no stagger. Whoever came here wanted her to know they were waiting. Inciting incident. Inside, the cabin was stripped of its warmth. Her father's old shooting mat still lay rolled by the hearth. The shelves where she'd once stacked MREs and extra ammo were bare, except for a single black phone, blinking a slow green light. Sophia hovered at the door, trembling. "What is that?" "A message," Maya murmured. She crossed the room, eyes darting to the windows for any hint of a sniper's glint. Nothing. She picked up the phone. It buzzed to life. A single voice message, modulated and low. "Sparrow, you ran once, you won't run again. Project Ember was never yours to bury. Deliver the girl, and you get to vanish like you did before. Fail, and you both disappear." Sophia's gasp cut the silence. "They want me?" Maya stared at the phone until the blinking light died. Her father's words came back like an echo in the empty room. "Precision is truth, but truth comes at a cost." She tossed the phone into the cold hearth and crushed it under her boot. Crisis. And reveal. She pulled Sophia close, her voice steady despite the firestorm inside her skull. "Listen to me. They're bluffing. You're not leverage anymore, you're bait. They're hunting me, not you. What do we do?" Maya's eyes flicked to the false wall behind the old rifle rack. She yanked it open, revealing a hidden arsenal. Her father's custom sniper rifle, a stack of encrypted radios, and a battered file box marked Ember. Sophia stared. "You kept all this?" "I tried to forget it," Maya said, loading the sniper rifle with practiced motions. "But they never forgot me." She spread a map across the floor. Red ink circled locations that meant nothing to Sophia, but everything to Maya. Supply drops, exit routes, vantage points her father used to call death perches. Outside, the crunch of snow snapped her attention up. Headlights sliced through the trees. 3 more SUVs creeping down the trail. Sophia backed away. "We can't fight them all." Maya's expression was granite. "We don't have to. We just need one alive." She handed Sophia a radio and a sidearm. "Stay here. Barricade the door. If you hear my signal, run for the creek bed and don't stop until you hit the main road." Sophia clutched the gun, eyes wet. "What if you don't come back?" Maya's hand brushed her cheek, a moment of warmth. "Before the storm. Then you tell the world who I was." She slipped out the back, a ghost among the trees. Her father's sniper rifle balanced on her shoulder like an old promise. Resolution and reflection. From a ridge overlooking the clearing, Maya lay prone, scope trained on the lead SUV. She could see their faces now, no masks, just the cold gleam of professionals who thought they owned the night. She let them step out, weapons raised, the wind carrying their muffled orders. One man barked into a radio, his voice barely a crackle in the dark. Precision is truth. One shot clean. The leader dropped to his knees, screaming. The others scattered, returning fire blindly. Maya slid down the ridge, moving like mist between trunks. Another shot, another leg taken. Not life. She pinned one against a tree. Blade to his throat. "Where's the director?" His eyes flickered with fear. "You can't win. Ember's bigger than you ever knew." Maya's blade pressed harder. "Where?" He spat blood. "Closer than you think. He's been watching you since Anchorage. He'll burn this place to the ground to smoke you out." She knocked him out cold, dragged him back toward the cabin as headlights bobbed in the distance. More. "We're coming." Inside, Sophia waited, the sidearm shaking in her grip. Maya dropped the captive at her feet. "Pack everything. We move now." Sophia's eyes met hers. "Where?" Maya holstered the blade, eyes steel. "Somewhere the director can't hide anymore. If he wants a war, we'll bring it to his front door." She grabbed the Ember file box, its weight an anchor and a weapon both. Outside, the woods swallowed the last echoes of gunfire. Maya felt the trident around her neck, its cold edge reminding her that the truth, once it's aimed, can never be called back. Audience prompts. Drop a "if you'd stand your ground like Maya." Comment if you want to see her take the fight to the director. Share if you believe secrets always come with a price. 2 more great stories are next. Don't miss them. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Maya sat cross-legged on a bare motel bed, the Ember file spread open before her like a live wire. Each page a spark ready to burn her world down. Backstory thread. They ditched the trucks on an old mining road, double-backed through the forest for miles before Sophia's legs gave out. A sympathetic trucker took them as far as a remote gas station on the edge of Fairbanks. From there, they hitched rides, slipping between shadows until they found this nameless roadside motel, paid in cash. No cameras. No prying eyes. Sophia slept in fits on the other bed, her head buried in a stack of borrowed blankets. Maya hadn't slept in 36 hours. Her mind throbbed with every classified image, every mission map inside the Ember folder. Her father's coded notes lined the margins. Director, real name, field assets, 17, hidden accounts, leverage points. And in her mother's sharp handwriting, if found, burn. If compromised, disappear. But disappearing hadn't worked, had it? Inciting incident. Sophia stirred awake. "What now?" she croaked. Her eyes looked older than they had 2 days ago. Maya studied the kid soft-hearted, born to a world that never expected her to carry so much weight. Maya's voice was steady. "You have a choice. You can leave now. Start over. I'll give you the money, fake IDs." Sophia sat up straighter. "No, they'll find me. You said it yourself. We bring the fight to him, right?" Maya didn't answer right away. She pulled a battered burner phone from her duffel and scrolled through encrypted channels she hadn't touched in a decade. Contacts who owed her. Old teammates who might still. Answer. One name popped up. Cruz. Crisis and reveal. Before she could tap the screen, her phone buzzed blocked number. She froze. Then, an automated voice. "Incoming package. Check the window." Maya's blood went cold. She lunged to the motel window. Nothing but swirling snow in the parking lot, except for a single cardboard box placed neatly under the flickering porch light. She slipped her sidearm from her waistband and edged the door open. Sophia hovered behind her, clutching a heavy flashlight. Like a club. Maya crouched, listening. The wind carried nothing but her pulse. She dragged the box inside, flipped it open with the barrel of her gun. Inside, nestled in packing foam, sat a burner phone. And a photo. Maya in her Navy SEAL uniform, a red X slashed through her eyes. Next to it, a picture of Sophia, hands bound, crying. But this was no snapshot from the warehouse. It was a photo taken through the motel room window, moments ago. Sophia gasped. Maya's mind raced. They're that close. The burner phone vibrated in the box. Maya picked it up. A man's voice, calm, precise. Sparrow, you have until dawn. Surrender the girl at mile marker 47, Old Highway 3, if you don't. The next shot won't miss. The line went dead, resolution and reflection. Maya smashed the phone against the nightstand, splinters flying. Sophia sobbed quietly on the edge of the bed. Maya knelt in front of her, voice low but unbreakable. This ends now. They think they're hunting prey. They've forgotten what I am. Sophia wiped her tears. What do we do? Maya folded the Ember file closed. We hit them first. You wanted to fight? This is how we fight. She pulled the old contacts list back up and pressed call next to Cruz's name. After 3 rings, a gruff voice answered. Sparrow? Hell, I hoped you were dead. Same, Cruz, but I've got a ghost in the wires. The director is back. Silence, then a low chuckle. Then let's bury him this time. Maya's eyes flicked to Sophia, who nodded through her fear. Precision is truth, she thought, feeling the old sniper's calm settle in her chest. But the truth was never free. And by dawn, she'd pay every cost. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd stay and fight too. Comment if you think Cruz can be trusted. Share if you're ready for Maya to bring the storm. Maya's boots hit the frozen pavement at mile marker 47. No shadows. No backup yet. Just the hiss of the wind and the promise of blood. Backstory thread. Cruz's intel came through encoded. Bursts. The director's men had eyes on every exit. Out of the county. The only way to break the chain was to bait them into the open. Cut the head off the snake in one vicious strike. Sophia hadn't flinched when Maya explained the plan. She'd play the bait. Wired up with a covert crouched. In a battered truck off the highway. Cruz would circle from the south with his old recon squad, black market armor and attitude intact. Maya, meanwhile, would work the Sniper Ridge one shot. One chance. They'd left the dingy motel before sunrise. Sophia's breath white clouds. Of fear and resolve. Cruz had laughed when he'd seen Maya's ancient rifle. Old school. I like it. Maya didn't smile. She never misses. Inciting incident. Now lying prone under a skeletal pine, Maya scanned the snowy roadside through. Her scope. Her heartbeat slowed, each breath a glacier moving inside her chest. Sophia's truck idled 30 yards from the marker, hazard lights blinking like a dying heartbeat. In her earpiece, Cruz's voice crackled. Crow to Sparrow. I've got eyes. South and west. Confirm contact? Maya's scope glided over the tree line there, headlights bobbing on the ridge road. SUVs, same convoy style, same tinted windows. She could almost smell the arrogance radiating from their engines. Contact confirmed, she murmured. Wait for my signal. Sophia's voice trembled in her ear. They're coming. Maya, you've got this, kid, Maya whispered. Precision is truth. Crisis and reveal. The SUVs stopped. Doors flew open. 6 men emerged, bristling with tactical gear, thermal goggles sweeping the roadside. One man stayed back, phone to his ear broadcasting, no doubt, to the director somewhere. Far away, Sophia opened the truck door, hands raised, trying not to look at Maya's hidden ridge. I'm here. Just don't hurt her. One of the men laughed, gun dangling from his wrist. Sweetheart, you've got no idea. Maya's finger slid onto the trigger. In her periphery, she caught movement, Cruz's squad slipping through the snow behind the convoy. Good, but the man by the phone raised his arm, barked a code she hadn't heard since Yemen. Echo 1, execute. Suddenly, the leader spun toward. Sophia's truck, gun raised. Maya's world narrowed to her scope. Her father's mantra pulsed through her veins. Breathe out. Own the shot. She squeezed the trigger. The leader's shoulder exploded in crimson mist. He crumpled. Chaos erupted. Sophia hit the gas, ramming one merc into a snowdrift. Cruz's squad opened fire from the tree line. Maya picked targets one by one. Knees, shoulders, never a kill if she could help it. Answers were worth more than corpses. A figure broke from the SUV, sprinting for the tree line with a sat phone clutched to his chest. Maya traced him through the crosshairs. The phone, Director. She fired. The man dropped, phone skidding across the ice. Resolution and reflection. By the time she made it down the ridge, the last merc was zip-tied face first in the snow. Cruz leaned against Sophia's truck, grinning like a pirate. You're still crazy, he told Maya, handing her the sat phone. Guess who's on the other end? Maya turned the cracked screen toward Sophia. A single text flashed on the lock screen. Running out of hiding places, Sparrow. Sophia squeezed Maya's arm. What does it mean? Maya holstered her rifle, her voice low and dangerous. It means he's close. Close enough to think he can taunt me. She crushed the phone under her boot, the screen splintering like a promise broken. Snow fell harder now, swirling around their bruised convoy. Time to finish this, Cruz said. Maya looked at him, then at Sophia, no longer the trembling girl from the warehouse. She nodded once. No more running. Deep in her chest, she felt the truth settle. If the director wanted her ghost, she'd bring him the specter he'd made her become. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd bait the trap too. Comment if you're ready to see Maya hunt the director down. Share if you believe ghosts can still fight back. Maya pressed the cold barrel to the mercenary's jaw. One word from him could finally unmask the director. Backstory thread. They'd stashed the surviving merc in an abandoned ranger station deep in the Talkeetna foothills. Cruz's team rigged the place with motion sensors and perimeter alarms. Sophia sat in a corner, flipping through the Ember file for any shred of intel. The man was trained, hard eyes, mouth set in a line of arrogance, even with zip ties cutting his wrists raw. But Maya saw the flicker of fear. He'd seen her shoot. He knew what she was capable of. Her father's voice echoed through her mind. Information is leverage. But leverage cuts both ways. Cruz leaned in the doorway, arms crossed, shotgun slung lazy over his shoulder. This guy's a stone. You really think he'll talk? Maya didn't answer. She just cocked the pistol and leaned closer, inciting incident. The director, she said, voice low enough to slip under the man's skin. Where is he? The merc spat blood. Already gone. You'll never touch him. Maya dug the barrel deeper into his jaw. Gone where? She traced the scar on his collarbone with the gun's muzzle. You served under him. You know the fallback route. Sophia's voice cut through the tension. The file says he kept a relay safe house someplace called Redstone. The merc laughed. Redstone's a myth. You'll die looking for it. Maya held his gaze until he twitched. That tiny tick told her everything. No, she said softly. You'll die first. Crisis and reveal. She pulled back the hammer. Cruz shifted, ready to intervene, but the merc broke before the metal clicked home. Okay. He gasped. It's a hydro plant abandoned, 30 miles east. He keeps a ghost relay their encrypted comms, burner bank accounts. But it's a trap. Sophia slammed the file shut. That's our shot. Cruz barked a laugh. Kid's got more fight than most jarheads. I know. Maya searched the merc's eyes. She saw the truth swimming there, mixed with betrayal and raw fear. When did he leave? Hours ago. If you're fast, you'll catch him. Or he'll catch you. Doesn't matter, he wants you alive just long enough to make an example. Maya knocked him out with the butt of her pistol. She felt nothing but the steady hum of purpose under her skin, resolution and reflection. Sophia watched Maya pack the sniper kit, thermal drones, and last of their rations. We're really doing this. Maya's hands never paused. We're ending it. He made me run 12 years ago. I won't run again. Sophia glanced at Cruz. You in? Cruz grinned, teeth flashing white against his scarred jaw. Hell, I didn't. Drive all this way to sip hot cocoa. Outside, snow fell like ash. Maya stepped onto the porch, Trident dog tag resting heavy against her collar. She could feel her parents' legacy humming in every heartbeat. Sniper's calm, medic's precision. Survivor's steel dot. She turned to Sophia. Once we're inside, you stay with Cruz. No heroics. Sophia's chin lifted. You're not the only one with ghosts to bury. Maya cracked the barest smile. Then she loaded her rifle, eyes fixed on the horizon. 30 miles of ice and shadows. Between her and the director. One shot to close the book. Precision is truth. But tonight truth would bleed. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd face the trap head on. Comment if you think Redstone is more than just a relay. Share if you're ready for Maya to take her final shot. Through the drifting snow, the dark silhouette of Redstone rose like a fortress. Maya felt the weight of every ghost she'd buried, pressing against her trigger finger. Backstory thread. They moved to the night like shadows. Cruz's armored SUV crawling the fire road, headlights off, thermal drone buzzing overhead. Sophia sat wedged between ration boxes and an old duffel full of C4, eyes darting between the laptop screen and Maya's face. The hydroplant was ancient, an industrial relic from the Cold War, perched above a frozen river gorge. Its turbine. Halls hadn't hummed in decades, but if the Merc's intel was right, the director had turned its bowels into a relay, servers, black funds, safe passage for traitors and ghosts alike. Maya stared out the window, Trident dog tag pressed to her lips. Her mother's voice whispered in her skull. If you want to end it, strike the heart. Cruz cracked his neck. Remind me, are we blowing this place sky high or just taking heads? Maya didn't blink. Both. Inciting incident. They parked half a mile out. Snow muffled their boots as they crossed the ridge, dropping to their bellies to watch Redstone's main gate. A skeleton crew patrolled the perimeter Mercs with night vision rigs, drones sweeping low over the dark clearing. Sophia's breath steamed in the cold. You think he's really in there? Maya's eye pressed to her rifle scope. He's there. He wants me to come. Cruz nudged her shoulder. Once we're in, you'll have maybe 10 minutes before they realize you're not alone. That's all I'll need, Maya said, her voice ice. Take Sophia and circle east. Plant the charges at the relay hub. Once I've got the director pinned, light it up. Sophia grabbed Maya's wrist. And you? Maya squeezed her hand, a rare crack in the sniper's armor. If I don't come back, pull the trigger anyway, no half measures. Crisis and reveal, they split at the drainage culvert, Maya crawling alone through the concrete tunnel under the old turbine pit. Every drip of water echoed like a heartbeat. She moved like vapor, memories flaring training drills with her father. The moment she buried her SEAL badge, the whisper of betrayal that drove her underground. Inside, the relay room pulsed with cold blue light. Servers hummed. And in the center, the director stood black suit, hair silver at the temples, eyes like knives. He held no weapon, just a tablet flickering with data feeds. Sparrow, he said, voice smooth as silk. You came home. Maya leveled her rifle at his chest. No more running, the director smiled, tapping the tablet. You think this ends here? Ember is bigger than you ever imagined. These files, he gestured to the servers, are seeds. You cut off one head, 3 more sprout. Maya's scope never wavered. Then I'll burn the whole garden. Resolution and reflection. Behind her, a distant rumble, the charges Cruz planted at the relay hub detonated. The floor shivering under Maya's boots. The director lunged no more. Words, Just the raw desperation of a man who'd built his empire on secrets. Maya dropped the rifle, pivoted into him with her blade. The old instincts sang in her blood. Strike, twist, finish. He fell against the server rack, coughing red onto cold steel. "You think you're free now?" he rasped. "You're just another ghost." Maya pressed her forehead to his for one breath. "I know." She let him slide to the floor dot above. Fire lit the roof beams as secondary charges blew. Sophia's voice crackled over comms. "Maya, get out! It's coming down!" She scooped up the director's tablet, bolted for the culvert, flames chasing. Her heels. She burst into the snowdrift as the hydro plant coughed black smoke into the sky. Cruz pulled her into the SUV. Sophia already sobbing in relief. Maya clutched the tablet to her chest, her father's mantra a quiet heartbeat in her ears. Precision is truth. But the truth was finally hers to wield. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd walk into the fire too. Comment if you think the director's secrets will survive. Share if you'd stand with Maya when the ghosts come calling. With the director dead and Redstone burning, Maya stared at the stolen tablet, knowing every secret it held might still cost her everything. Backstory. Thread. They didn't stop driving until the mountains gave way to the tundra, empty and merciless. Cruz's battered SUV crawled across the frozen flats, exhaust clouding the pitch-black night. Sophia sat wrapped in blankets, clutching the director's tablet as if it were a bomb. Cruz kept glancing at the rear view, half expecting drones too. Crest the horizon, but Maya? She just stared out the window, dog tag cold against her neck. Redstone was ash now. The director's blood on her blade had washed away in the snow. But the war he built, Project Ember, lived on in hidden servers, offshore accounts, and the name still buried in that device. Her father's voice rang clear. "You finished the shot, kid. Now live with the echo." Inciting incident. They hold. Up in an abandoned ranger outpost near the Yukon line, another piece of her father's old maps. Cruz made a fire from splintered crates. Sophia slept a few feet away, the tablet at her side. Maya leaned over Cruz's shoulder, scanning the decrypted files. He planned it for years. Every Black Ops asset who vanished, every ghost soldier, they're all linked to Ember. Cruz snorted. "If you leak this, the world will burn." Maya's fingers drummed the tabletop. Maybe it should. Cruz's eyes narrowed. "You ready to be that name on every list? Sparrow the traitor? Sparrow the whistleblower?" Maya didn't flinch. "I already am a ghost." Crisis and reveal. A soft click. Sophia had woken up, tablet open, her eyes glassy in the firelight. "There's a list here," she whispered. "Look." She turned the screen to Maya. Photos, surveillance, all tagged with code names, one folder labeled Legacy Operatives. Maya's heart stopped. There, buried between the lines, was a photo she hadn't seen in 12 years. Her father, in desert. Camo, standing beside a younger version of the director. Next to it, a file she'd never known existed. Project Harrier. Cruz whistled low. "He knew your dad." Maya's mind spun. "Harrier was my father's last deployment. He never came home." "No body," they said. Mia. Sophia's hand trembled. "Maybe he didn't die. Maybe he's—" Maya slammed the tablet shut, heart pounding. "No, that's the last ghost. I won't chase a lie." But deep inside, she felt the hook set. What if the director had used her father the same way he'd tried to use her? What if there were answers she'd never dared face? Resolution and reflection. Cruz poured black coffee into a cracked thermos, handing it to Maya. "So boss, what now? Drop the files to the press. Find the other assets?" Maya's eyes drifted to Sophia, exhausted but burning with a spark Maya recognized from her own youth. The same defiance that once made her a SEAL when no one thought she'd survive but us. "We leak what we can," she said finally. "Not all at once. Pieces. Enough to choke Ember's money. Enough to protect the ones who can't fight." Cruz barked a laugh. Freedom fighter now, huh? Maya's lips curved barely. Ghosts can fight. Back 2. She sat by the window as the sun rose, streaks of dawn catching on the frost. The tablet felt heavy in her lap. Truth that could still destroy her. Or set her free. Her father's voice echoed. Precision is truth. Truth is the shot you never get back. And Maya knew one thing. She'd never bury the truth again. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd leak the files too. Comment if you believe Maya's father might still be alive. Share if you think ghosts like her can still save the world. Before dawn broke, Maya locked eyes with Cruz across the dying fire. They both knew the war wasn't over. Not with Project Harrier dangling in the dark. Backstory thread. The ranger cabin creaked with the hush of snowfall outside. Sophia curled up on a bench, the decrypted tablet clutched to her chest like a lifeline. Cruz sat on an ammo crate, boots planted wide, rolling a combat knife between his fingers. Maya hadn't slept. She stared at the old set phone she'd lifted from the director's relay room. Burned now, but not before she'd mirrored every contact buried inside. One number was tagged Harrier. One more ghost that refused to stay buried. Her father's voice whispered like a heartbeat. If you want peace, be ready to lose everything. Inciting incident. She poured stale coffee, let the steam fog her thoughts. Cruz watched her in silence until he couldn't stand it. So? You gonna dial it or not? Maya shrugged. If it's real, if my father's alive, then he's still deep under Ember's thumb. Cruz finished for her. Or he's bait, Sophia stirred. It could be another trap. Maya's lips curved in a humorless smile. Everything's a trap. She keyed in the number, fingers steady. 1 ring, 2. On the 3rd, a voice old, frayed by desert winds and time. Sparrow? Her pulse slammed against her ribs. Dad? Crisis and reveal. The voice sighed, equal parts relief and regret. I knew you'd find this line someday. Where are you? Maya snapped. Cruz leaned forward, all ears. Sophia's eyes were wide. Tears welling, deep. They kept me deep. I never left Ember. Couldn't. They used me to keep you scared. To keep you in the shadows. Maya's throat burned. Why didn't you run? Her father coughed a wet, rattling sound. Because sometimes staying hidden is how you live long enough to pass the shot to someone who'll take it. A pause. And you did, didn't you? You took it. I did, Maya breathed. But the war isn't done. We have the files. A brittle laugh on the other end. Then make 'em bleed, kid. You know where I am. But you've got the last piece. Don't waste it on saving ghosts. Dad, I'm proud of you, Maya, the line crackled. Always was, always will be. Then silence. Maya sat frozen, the sat phone limp in her hand. Cruz reached out, squeezed her shoulder. Sophia was crying now, clutching her hand, resolution, and reflection. When dawn cracked the horizon, Maya packed the last of their gear. Cruz buried the sat phone in the snow, eyes locked on her. If you want to go after him, I'm in. Sophia stood straighter than ever. Me too. Maya looked at them, her unexpected family of strays and ghosts. Her father's words clung to her like frostbite. Don't waste it on saving ghosts. She clipped the Trident dog tag back around her neck. We leak the files first. We burn Ember. Down to the last name. Then, maybe I find him. Or maybe I bury him. Sophia nodded, fierce and soft all at once. We'll finish this. Maya's sniper calm settled like snow in her chest. Precision is truth. Truth was family. Truth was vengeance. And truth was freedom paid for in shadows. Bought with the ghosts that would never leave her. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd make the call too. Comment if you believe some ghosts deserve saving. Share if you think Maya should finish Ember once and for all. The files were out in the world now, and for the first time in 12 years, Maya realized she wasn't the only ghost left standing. Backstory thread. They leaked Ember piece by piece. Cruz's old contacts in the freelance press, whistleblower. Sites and encrypted forums picked up every drop. Within hours, chatter bloomed like wildfire black ops slush funds. Secret training camps, ghost identities hiding in plain sight. Names that once hunted Maya were now under the world's microscope. They'd holed up in a decaying safe house near an old mining town. The windows boarded up, the snowdrifts swallowing their footprints every hour. Sophia hardly slept running. Comes feeding fresh data to trusted allies. Cruz worked the perimeter like a lion, shotgun resting against the wall as he cleaned his blades. And Maya? She sat by the lone oil lamp, her father's sat phone disassembled on the table, the final string tying her to Ember, now cold and dead. Inciting incident. Sophia woke Maya with a rough shake. "They found him," she said, voice raw from sleepless nights. "We gotta pin one of the names from Project Harrier, a wet ops handler who knew your father. He's holed up at a smuggler's run outside Whitehorse." Cruz checked his sidearm. "Could be bait." Maya smirked without warmth. "Everything's bait." Sophia grabbed Maya's hand. "If you do this, if you find your dad, what then?" Maya didn't answer right away. Her father's voice haunted her. Don't waste it on saving ghosts. But there were no clean answers in a war built on lies. "I finish it," she said finally. "And if he's alive, he decides who he wants to be, not Ember." Crisis and reveal. The smuggler's den was an ice-choked tunnel carved into an abandoned copper mine. Cruz and Sophia stayed in the truck while Maya slipped through the snow. Rifle cradled to her chest. Inside, the handler waited, an old man wrapped in furs, eyes sunken but sharp. A small heater sputtered beside him, casting shadows on his lined face. Maya leveled her gun. "Where is he? Where's my father?" The man didn't flinch. Always the same question. "He was never your ghost to save, girl. He's been Ember's weapon longer than you were alive." Maya stepped closer, her breath a frozen whisper. "Then why did he call me? Why did he tell me to finish it?" The handler barked a ragged laugh. "Because he knows the truth. Ember doesn't die with a bullet. It dies when you bury every lie. And you're almost there." She felt the tremor in her hand before she crushed it down. "You tell me where he is, or I make you watch the truth burn through you." The old man wheezed. "He's waiting at Raven's Cross, where he trained you, where you said goodbye. He's waiting for the one shot you've never taken." Resolution and reflection. Outside, Maya stood in the swirling snow, the handler's words echoing through her bones. Cruz opened the truck door. "You got it?" Maya nodded, throat tight. "I know where he is." Sophia touched her shoulder. "Then this is it, the last ghost." Maya's eyes lifted to the mountain ridge, Raven's Cross, the sniper's perch her father once called home. "Precision is truth," he'd always said. But the truth was a shot you could never call back. And this time, Maya knew when she squeezed the trigger, it wouldn't just end a war. It would end the part of her that was still running. Audience prompts. Drop a if you'd confront the ghost too. Comment if you believe her father will let her go. Share if you're ready for Maya to stand on Raven's Cross one last time. Maya's breath plumed white on the ridge at Raven's Cross, her rifle steady, her father's silhouette clear through the scope. Backstory thread. They'd climbed through the night. Cruz stayed back to watch the ridgeline while Sophia followed. Maya up the frozen switchbacks, wind clawing at their faces. Snow drifted in slow, merciless waves like the ghost that had trailed Maya since the day she'd buried her. Seal Trident. The plateau was just as she remembered it, an old sniper perch overlooking 1,000 miles of silent wilderness. Her father had taught her to breathe here, to wait for the shot until the world held its breath. Now, years later, she found him there, bundled in battered camo, hair gone silver, eyes sharp as the mountains behind him. No rifle this time, just a pistol resting on a rock beside him. He looked up as she stepped into the clearing. Sparrow. Inciting incident. Her voice cracked. "Dad." He studied her like he was memorizing the lines time had carved into her face. "You finished it." "The director." Ember's throat cut open for the world to see. Maya's eyes burned. "Not all of it. You're still tied to it." Her father smiled, a weary, broken thing. "A legacy of ghosts, kid. That's what we built." Sophia hovered at the tree line, watching. Cruz's shadow shifted further back, respectful. This was Maya's shot alone. Crisis and reveal. Maya raised her rifle halfway, barrel trembling. "Why didn't you run when you could? Why stay buried in Ember's claws?" Her father's voice was soft as snowfall. "Because every ghost needs an anchor. You were mine. So long as I stayed under their thumb, they'd never put a bullet in you." Her breath shuddered. "You think that makes this right?" "No," he said. "But it bought you 12 years of quiet. 12 years to grow into the woman who would finish the war I was too weak to walk away from." Maya's hand steadied on the rifle. Precision is truth, her father's old words. The truth was her finger resting on the trigger now. He lifted the pistol with trembling fingers, pointed it at his own chest. "Do it, Sparrow. No more ghosts." Resolution and reflection. Wind howled across the ridge, the snow swirling between them like ash. Maya's mind spun through every mission, every kill shot, every night she'd stayed awake, listening for ghosts in the walls. Sophia's whisper floated to her through the cum. "Maya, you don't have to," but Maya knew she did. This was the shot her father had trained her to take, the final piece that kept Ember's shadow alive. She exhaled. The world held its breath with her. The rifle cracked once. Her father's eyes closed, a small smile frozen on his lips as he slumped against the rock. No words. Just silence at last. Maya lowered her weapon, shoulders caving under the weight of it all. Cruz stepped forward, hand on her back. Sophia took her glove, squeezed until the tremors eased. Down the mountain. The world waited, files scattered like broken glass. Men like the director dead or running. Secrets exposed to the sun. Maya felt the trident around her neck, a reminder that precision was truth. And sometimes truth was the only shot that set. "You free." She turned her back on the ridge as dawn split the sky. "Let's go home." Audience prompts. Drop a "if you'd take the shot too." Comment if you believe Maya finally found her peace. Share if you'd stand by her through every ghost. 2 more great stories are next. Don't miss them. Subscribe and turn on notifications.